Hello, this is Lisa Hazard and Misty Lore with the podcast We're All Psychic. And this is a very soothing tone I'm using because we're
Ooh.
going to be talking about meditation.
But Lisa, before we start, I have a question for you.
What?
Do you think we're all psychic?
You think we're all psychic? Misty, do you think we're all psychic?
We are. Okay, I
That
can't
was
be quiet for that
creepy.
long.
That was creepy. Yeah, exactly. That's how meditation goes. You can't stay quiet that long for some of us.
Exactly. Good start. Good start.
So that we're going to talk about if you've never meditated before, we're going to do a meditation. And what I'm going to do, listeners, is chop this up into 3 sections so you can fast forward, pass through the meditation if you want, and just get back to the podcast after I give a meditation for Misty. And if you don't want to skip, you don't have to. There's just a suggestion to make your life easier. If you want that in your life. Anyway, so we talked about first of all, like different techniques you can use. And Misty had like some really great points, about like unblocking thinking you can't get into that state. Like
Yeah.
you had brought up yoga as like a great example. And the way you put it was really, really great.
Yeah. Well, when we were talking about, different ways to meditate, yoga was the first thing that came to my mind. And that's because originally a lot of people think that that's really how you meditate. You sit kind of in a yoga position and but really, like when you're doing the stretches in yoga and you're doing the breathing techniques, that really is a great way to meditate because you're getting your whole body relaxed and you're in a good stretch and you're able to like attract some positive energy around you. So I think that that's probably one of my favorite ways to meditate is when doing yoga.
And stretching in yoga and holding certain yoga poses can really release a lot of endorphins, which can
Yes.
relax you and
Yes.
relax you altogether about any anxiety around meditating too, and breathing
Yes.
like that. The breathing in
And it's a
yoga,
start.
it is a
Yeah. I
great
mean,
start.
even if it's just the standing pose, something simple, get grounded,
Yeah,
and then begin, trying to begin meditating.
being grounded. Yeah, grounded. So if you don't know what grounded is, listeners, if you're brand new and this is the podcast you decide to pick, grounded is like feeling like you're on the ground when your head's like somewhere else, your heart's somewhere else. You want to bring everything, all your emotions and physical and energetic stuff, just kind of back to earth and stability. That's what the word grounded kind of sums up, but we do it with energy, such
Well, you
as
put it the best way.
meditation.
Wait, you told me this, and I don't know if I've even said this on the podcast before, but it was the best advice ever, ever, ever.
Really?
Um, when you're trying to ground, yeah. Um, and I do this in the shower, but you told me to stand, wherever I was, and imagine the roots from the ground going all the way to the tree in the backyard and going up the tree and grabbing that tree's energy and then slowly coming down the roots, slowly going down underneath the dirt and then up to your feet, all the way up to your body. You told
Yeah.
me that. And it was like a game changer.
Yeah.
That was the most amazing grounding technique that I do, and it's because you're the one that taught me that. So thank you.
Oh, you're welcome. I had forgotten it, and that's okay. I'm gonna while you were saying it, you have a hypnotic kind of voice, Misty. I was getting like this feeling
Yes,
like, wow, you're
makes me
doing it.
feel so good.
One of my favorite meditations is one I've talked about on the podcast before, and it's by Pam Gregory. That I was on one of her recent podcasts in December or November, and it was just a breathing technique. I can't really repeat how she does it as well, But basically, you can just lay there. You don't have to lie there, sit there, driving, anything. You just breathe, and you don't have to breathe deeply. You can just breathe your normal breathing or shallowly, or if you can breathe deeply. And she says you count as many numbers as you want. It can be one or two or three, with like some shallow one breath, two breath, hold breathing in, one, two. And then she says you exhale and do two numbers more than you did for your inhale. And that
I
just,
like
and then
that.
you stop, and then you like it all works, and when you let it out, you just pause. And she says then you're in the moment. You're like, you just in the moment. That's how you can get to a state of being in the moment if you practice it. And it works for me every single time I do it. I do
Yeah.
two or three of those breaths counting, and it's just like I'm instantly in that good,
And
blissful
that's
in the
like
moment.
yoga. That's what you're supposed to do
Yes.
in the yoga too.
Yes.
That's why I find it so, cool that they, go together so easily.
They do.
But
Yeah.
yeah, that's a good technique, not to be in a yoga position, but even
I've
like
done
being in
it.
a car
I've done
or,
it in yoga positions, actually, just to try it out, and it works really well. It's kind of strange.
yeah, yeah, yeah. One thing that comes to mind when you say that, I'm thinking you could do it in the car. Like the perfect
Definitely.
example, like my
Definitely.
husband has horrible, horrible road rage.
That would
And,
help
a lot of
him.
us do get a little mad on the road. And so that would be a good technique, the breathing technique to kind of calm yourself down and get into that zone. So you're
Yeah.
not so angry and mad at every driver around you. I'll make
Yeah.
the world a better place, I promise. But another thing that I wanted to say too, though, is a lot of people think that meditating, you have to be still and quiet and really concentrate. And one thing that I have found is that you can meditate like anytime. You can do it while you're washing dishes. You can do it, while you're doing, any kind of housework or whatever. It's all about, trying to get to that peaceful state in your mind. And I mean, I've noticed too, when I meditate the most is
Mm.
like when I'm walking, like if I'm going
Yeah.
for a walk. I think that's
Yeah.
really when and sometimes I don't even realize I'm meditating, but I am. I'm like embracing my surroundings and nature, and I'm meditating it, but yet I'm moving. So that's one thing that I did want to say. Don't think it's just a kind of sit still kind of thing, because it's not.
I agree. And one of the times I love meditating the most is when I'm making jewelry. I just zone out. And if I'm unless I'm trying something like extremely difficult, sometimes then I'll zone out too. Then I melt stuff. But it just happened this week. I was trying to get in the zone, and I wasn't paying attention too well. Instead of being in the zone, I was just kind of like doing my usual stuff, and I
Yeah.
zoned out instead of doing what like focusing and zoning, and not thinking like having those meditative thoughts where there is like that you're in the moment, and you're just letting thoughts and feelings and images come to you.
Okay, so I'm gonna ask you this because I want to know how you meditate. Like, and I'm sure a lot of the listeners have this question too, but what are you supposed to be thinking about when you're meditating? Are you supposed to be thinking about um, answers to questions that you have? Are you supposed to be listening to that inner voice? Are you supposed to be like what is it? What's the point of it
Like,
besides
what's the point and
relaxing?
what's the
Yeah,
benefit?
yeah,
To
tell me.
me to me, the point is to get to know yourself better in a quiet, like, safe environment, and explore your imagination. Because to me, our imaginations are our greatest gifts, and
Okay.
they're just limitless. With them, we can change anything, anything. Look
Oh,
at
that's
look at
good.
mankind. I mean, what we've been able
Yeah,
to do. I'm amazed that the future is now from like where we were in like when I was
right.
1990, it's just crazy. It's
Yeah.
I don't want to like do the stuff I did in 1990 because there's so much cool stuff that do now, like computers and everything like this
Yes.
podcasts and. But
That's
I
good
try
advice.
to, but
That's very good advice.
the benefits can be if you get to know yourself better through meditation. And if you want to ask questions, you can. It's really the goal of the meditation. If your goal is just to feel better and calm yourself down, then that's you try to do that in whatever way feels best, or listen to guided meditations on. There's tons of them on YouTube. There's tons of people who offer them all kinds of free. There are also classes you can go to. I know on VR on the Oculus on AltSpace, there were meditation classes you just go to for free. If you're on Oculus VR, I don't know if any listeners are, but I went to one and I was like, oh.
Yeah.
It's like this
Yeah.
headset is not made for meditation. It's kind of uncomfortable for me. Like I don't know, it's like
Yeah.
heavy. But that's a
Do
little
you
off
do
topic.
music when you
Sometimes,
meditate?
like I'll meditate to the Pixies, it doesn't have to be. And sometimes I'll meditate to some of those, these I highly recommend if you like stuff like the binaural beats on
Mhm.
YouTube. You can find them. Binaural beats are like, you look for a certain frequency for like the heart chakra or for healing or for sleeping or for pain relief. And I think
Oh,
binaural beats, I think it's spelled, I'm not going to spell it. I'll look it up maybe and put it in the description. But
yeah.
you can look up like a list of what different kilohertz and hertz and stuff like that they have for these different binaural beats, and they're real relaxing kind of metaphysical store music
Huh.
and chimes and but it's got a rhythm to it, and that tone plays all the way through it in different with different harmonies and stuff like that. It works. It's helped me for pain relief, but it's really helped me for sleep and for heart chakra too, and pain, my heart and pain and my, emotions and stuff like that.
Yeah.
It's helped. But I
Well,
sleep to them. You sleep, you kind of meditate, but some of them are like 20, like 12 hours. So you're supposed to sleep to them, or they're 4 hours. So you drift off to sleep to them, they work.
that's a good idea. I'm gonna have to check that out.
Yeah.
So, I've always wondered this, and I've done it maybe one or two times, but have you ever meditated with somebody else, like together?
I'm trying to think. It seems like I must have. I just can't remember. I don't think I have though. It just comes to mind.
Would you are you up for something like that? Like,
Oh,
are you
hell
open
yeah.
for it?
Oh
Well,
yeah.
then,
I'd
will
love to
you
do
do
that.
it with me one day
Hell
and
yeah.
meditate?
Absolutely.
I think that would be some fun energy to play with.
Yeah, that would be cool. Yeah. Oh, let's totally do that. But listeners, for now, we'll kind of meditate together. I'll take you on a meditation. So,
Yeah.
if you want to lie down on your bed, and listeners, at this point, if you don't want to listen to the meditation, you can skip ahead to the third section. So she's going to lie down, and I'm going to talk her through, and let me know if you can hear me, Misty, when you lie down. So she's gonna sound a little different. Maybe I'll put a reverb on her or something so she's in a trance. Put a delay on there. So listeners, this is a meditation I developed myself for me when I was confused and my physical stuff was telling me one thing and my mind was telling me another thing and my heart was mute and I couldn't hear it or something like that. My energy felt off and I didn't know what I wanted to do or what was going on. I developed this for me to help me out when I was very confused, and it helps. It really helped. All right,
So am I lying on my back or my
I lie
stomach?
on my back, but it's whatever's comfortable to you. All
Okay.
right, so Misty, would you
Yes.
please take a deep breath, inhale and exhale. And listeners, if you'd like to join, please join. And take another deep breath in and out. Now imagine that your body is very light, like light as a feather, and it tingles with just oxygen and circulation and just light and joy and air. And then take another deep breath, and just everything like that gets more and more lighter as you breathe in and out. Breathe in and breathe out. All right. Now put all your focus on your heart, where you feel your emotions in your heart, in your body. And just focus on there, and then just like kind of energetically sink into your heart and try to block out every other sensation. And just feel your heart and ask it to feel. And just take note of what the feeling is that you're feeling and just keep it to the side. Okay. Now move out of the heart. And this is where it gets a little fun. You get to go into your mind. Now take as long as you want, Misty, and just let your mind have all its ramblings and everything it has to say and think, everything it wants to think. Just let it go crazy, or let it think about what the heart said. Let it just think about whatever it wants. Whatever it wants. Even if there's an issue you thought of or something you were thinking of when you started this meditation. Maybe that. I always take a little while at this point. So now I'm going to ease you out of your thoughts if your mind is satisfied. And I want you to feel your physical body, just your physical body, from your toes and your bottom of your feet and your heels and your shins and knees and up your legs and your back and your stomach and your shoulders and your arms and your neck and your hair and your scalp and your face and your nose and your cheeks and your eyes, all your organs, your heart, but not the love part, but your actual physical heart. And your guts, like I said that twice, and your knees, and your feet again, and your hands, and your face, and just feel it all and get a message that your body's trying to tell you. Just get the message and store it to the side. Okay, now move out of the body and out into your aura, or your energy field around and in your body, your energy, your juju. And you can feel it around you. You can feel what it feels like. Just all around you, whatever you feel, all circling your body and running all along your energy circuits, your chakras. Well, take note of what you're experiencing there and put it to the side. And lastly, we're going to come out of the body space and into the core. The core is your solar plexus down to your belly button. And you focus there and sink into it. This is your will, what you want. Sink into it. Ask it what it wants. Ask it how it feels, and see how you experience that, and take note and put it to the side. Okay, now you can move out of that space, out of your core, and back out. Take a deep breath. In, out, in. You're still light, but you're feeling light, but you're feeling like you're done. You're ready to come talk about your experience. Take one more breath. Okay. How do you feel? Okay, listeners, if you skip the meditation, Misty is coming back from the bed. And she said at the end that I said, how do you feel? And she said, like, I don't want to move. So now she's going to tell us her experiences. I hope they were good. Oh, okay, your heart. What was your impression when you came back out of your heart area?
Okay, when we were doing the heart, the message that I got like in my head was, you need to learn to love yourself,
Yes.
is what I got.
Yes. And then when you went into your mind and you let it go, where did it go?
It just swirled around.
A bunch of self issues and like stuff going on, or any imagery with it, or did you just let your mind just
Yeah, I just let my mind just
babble?
take off
Yeah,
with
I
it.
babble. I go on and
Yeah.
on. And then when you
Well, yeah, mine was more like a visual,
yeah,
but
cool,
yeah,
okay. Sounds personal.
I like colors.
Yeah, yeah. So when you went to physical, what did you experience? What was the message?
Okay, what was the physical
A physical
question?
is just feel your body and see if there's a message. Ask it if it has a message.
Okay, that one. Okay. When you asked me that one, the message was that I need to be stronger, and not like mentally, but like physically. Like I need to work on the muscles in my body
Oh
more.
yeah, that's amazing. I've been doing it and it is amazing. And to have I'd never had
Yeah.
upper body
Yeah.
strength, and to have it is just truly, yeah, that's a great message. That would help a lot.
Yeah.
And then
Yes. I
that's
think so.
amazing that you got that.
Uh-huh.
And then when in your energy field, when you were in your energy field, what message did you get there?
I didn't really get a message on the energy field. I just was feeling, or I was imagining um like purple and a really pretty like green and blue, like circuits
Cool.
kind of, and they were all around me, kind of twirling up to my head all the way down to my toe,
That is so
just
cool.
kind of wiggling and moving and doing their thing,
I think
and it felt
I
good.
think purple is like freedom, and I think blue and green are both healing colors, and bravery is blue, and
Hmm.
initiative, and like those are all great. Yeah, that's really sounds beautiful.
Yeah, I love colors.
So how about when you left that and went into your core? What did you experience?
That was the last one,
That was the
right?
last one.
Yeah. Okay, so on the last one, the core, the message was success.
Oh wow, that's really great.
That was the one word, success. Um, I guess I everybody wants success, but it's like I know that it's close. I just need to believe it more, I think.
Yeah,
So I think that's why I got that
I think you're
message.
right, and that's where your will is. Your will is your belief, and you're willing to put action to it.
Yeah.
And that's what you do. You
So that was really
you
cool.
like that? Yeah, that's a little thing I did just
Yeah,
to kind of
yeah, I like
like
it a
see
lot.
where I'm at when I'm all kind of discombobulated. But you don't know if you were discombobulated before, but if it's still something I like to do. Um, so
Yeah.
yeah,
I'm gonna do that one
what was the
again.
benefit of that for you, do you think?
Well, I told you I didn't want to get up. So
Yeah.
the real benefit for me is to be completely in a relaxed
Oh
state,
yeah.
because I am such a tense person. Like my muscles are always tense. Like every part of my body is always tense. And so for me to actually, feel completely and utterly relaxed for just those few minutes is
I
amazing.
bet. Yeah, I bet it is. Yeah. It's the my mind is hard to shut down. So a lot of times in meditations, I can do it like that. I can take about 10-20 seconds and just shut it down. Maybe even sooner,
Right.
but
That's awesome.
yeah, it took a long time. Well, it was actually a defense mechanism. Um,
Hmm. Yeah, it is a good
yeah,
one. That's a good
yeah.
suggestion. Like when you're in a situation,
You get in the moment.
you get out of it in your
Yeah, or
mind.
you get in the moment or out of it in your mind and get, a perspective immediately that's outside of it.
That reminds me, I watch a lot of these like criminal shows, and I'm just obsessed
I
with
love
them.
them.
But one thing that I hear out of like anybody that has actually been through any kind of like trauma, they always say, well, what were you feeling, or what were you thinking, like when you were being raped or whatever, or beat or whatever was happening? And it's always the same answer. It's like they go to another place in their head.
Yeah.
They go somewhere else so they don't feel what's actually happening to them at that
Yeah.
moment. And that's
Yeah, it
meditating.
is. Yeah.
I mean, it's so
Yeah.
sad, but I think that's the way the mind has to, comprehend some things that we just can't. We got to take it somewhere
Right.
else.
Exactly. Exactly. That's why I was thinking it was a defense mechanism that I could do it
Yeah.
so quickly. Yeah. Just
Yes.
shut it all.
Yes. And that just proves we can all do
Yeah.
that.
Yeah.
And we do
Yeah.
it. We just don't think of it as
Yeah.
meditating,
I think you're right.
but
I think you're right.
it's going to a different place. It's getting out of yourself and somewhere better.
Yeah, a lot of meditations are imagery based. I was actually thinking, listeners, that I might do the meditation that was in Fight Club for Misty tonight, but I decided to do that one instead. If you remember, it's a
I
spirit
like that
power
one.
animal, they call it in that one. It's a spirit animal one. My therapist did with me when I was like 22 or something, 23. And I met my Gandalf the Grey, and now he's Gandalf the Grey for real. And he's turning white, listeners. I have pictures, I have evidence. He's turning white. He's turning into Gandalf the White.
He's a white kitty
No, Misty,
kitty.
have you ever watched Lord of the Rings? Do you know about Gandalf the Grey and Gandalf the White? Okay, well,
No,
Gandalf
but
the Grey.
my husband has,
Oh,
and my
well,
daughter
tell
has.
your husband
Yeah.
that my Gandalf the Grey is turning white, and he'll laugh. He won't
Okay.
believe you. He won't believe you. I have pictures though, and I'll show them to him. So just tell him to text me if he
Well,
doesn't believe
I
you.
will.
And I'll make
I
that the
will.
podcast cover art of the meditation
Oh, you
podcast.
should. That's a good idea.
Yeah, I'd
That's a good
like to
idea.
thank you, Missy. You had some great ideas about what to do with this to teach this.
So did you. Hey, I just learned from the
I'm really
best.
relaxed
How
after
many
doing
times?
it.
I know. How many times do you suggest somebody meditate a
Whenever
day?
you feel like it. I mean, I think the morning for me is the best. It's whatever is best for you. I meditate in the morning and offer myself Reiki now. Now that I've learned Reiki, I usually I wake up really early and have a lot of time in the morning because I, just get my neck straightened out and stuff. And I'll just lie
Yeah.
there and do Reiki, and it just feels so good. And I'll sometimes just blank my mind, and usually in the morning because my mind is still kind of in that haze of sleep. So that's even if I'm irritable, it's easier to meditate then than when I'm stimulated by life,
You know what? And there's one more thing that I want to say before we go, because I think this is really a really cool thing. But I was reading a book on shamans, and they talk about meditating and yoga and some other things. But I read, and I can't remember the sound exactly that they make, but there's a certain sound they make when they meditate. And what they do, like, for example, I'm just going to do la la.
Okay.
Okay. So here I am. I'm ready to meditate, and I can't get my mind to shut off or anything. So here's what I'm going to do. La 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 la. La 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 la.
Like
And just
scales.
keep like,
La la la
yeah,
la
but
la la
or
la la
any kind of noise,
la. Oh, that's cool.
even if it's like
Om nam
whatever
ramabe.
feels
Yeah.
good,
Yeah.
whatever
It
feels
does feel good.
natural. And it's supposed to really help you get there faster. And I think that's what a lot of people have problems with, is
You're
getting
right.
to that state. So I just wanted to mention
That's
that,
very
because
good point. A mantra
yeah,
can, if you get into that meditative state and you can remember a mantra that you made up, or it comes to you in a meditative state, that can get you in a
right,
meditative state faster. And that those like saying Om, or any kind of prayer or anything like that that you think of to or sound,
Noise,
la la
sound.
la 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 la, the
Yeah.
scales that will instantly thinking it or doing it can help instantly get you back into trance state as you build that
See?
skill.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I hope that that's a lot of skills that the listeners can use if you are not, quite there as far as
Yeah, I
meditating.
think that's
I
great.
think those are some excellent ideas to get you
Me
started,
too.
or even if you're a pro,
Yeah. Yeah, there might be
we're
something in
always
there you're
learning,
looking
right?
for. Yeah, right. I learned. So I'd like to thank our sponsor, Everclear. That is an advice app where you can get your advice from psychics and empaths. Everclear.com, where you can get the clarity you need to create the life you deserve. And lastly, I'd like to thank the listeners. I love you, listeners. And thank
Yes,
you for listening.
listeners.
And don't
Thank
forget, my tarot cards
you.
are available now in my Etsy shop. If you can go to the website, you can find a link to my Etsy shop. And thank you, Misty. I love you.
Thank
I'm
you.
so chill right now. I'm so
Love you.
chill. I don't know about you.
Me
Just
too.
relax.
I know. I am
Oh yeah.
too. All right, you guys go
You
chill.
guys go chill. Thank you for listening.
You guys
Have
go
a
chill.
great time meditating. Bye.
Bye.
I'm asleep now.